Everybody, I've been pushing this and I've been preaching to these guys how amazing Teamzy software is. And I know I think everybody on here has already set up an account and has already started using the software. And we've got another bunch that told me that they weren't going to make the live session, but they're already using the software, loving the software and everything about it. And guys, I just want to say, Eric, amazing dude. He took the time out of his schedule. He's the CEO of Teamzy to come on here and show us the ins and outs and help us to understand how this software can help us streamline our business and help us prospecting, helping us to follow up, and just making life a lot easier for us. And I'm super grateful to have him on here today. And just take it away, Eric.
Thank you so much. I'm appreciative to be here. So here's what we're going to do. We don't have a lot of time together, so I'm going to try to cram as much training in as I can. It's a passion of mine to teach and share what I've learned along the way. And so there's a couple things I want to show you. Obviously, I'm going to show you the software. I'm going to walk you through it. Sounds like you guys are already using it, which is great. I'm going to show you some best practices for how to really crush a power hour, right? So you can be really efficient with it. But I also want to teach a little bit about the philosophy behind Teamzy, because Teamzy is not just a software tool. It's actually an approach to building the business with heart. And so I want to share a little bit of that. I think that'll resonate with you guys too, so you can see why it's set up the way it is, if that makes sense. It's kind of the countercultural culture in network marketing. So definitely want to share that with you guys. So let's just dive right in really quick. I'm going to share my screen with you. And this is what I want to talk to you about first, is how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. Dave, I made you co-host, so if anyone comes in the waiting room while I'm presenting, you can just let them in. All right. So systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. There's three things that I want you to take away from this. One is you've got to systemize what you're doing, right? You may be naturally good at this, but if you don't have it systemized, you can't duplicate it with somebody else because there's only one of you. Make sense? The next piece is we're going to teach you about relationship marketing. Again, it's the countercultural approach to doing our business and how to do it all in less than an hour a day. That's where your power hour boss comes in. So just a little bit about me, just so you guys know, my background's not actually network marketing. I've been a professional business consultant and coach for 20 years, helping people build their businesses based on relationships. Relationship-based business. And I fell into the network marketing arena about 7 years ago. Some of you can relate to this. I just wanted a little something extra on the side. I started a side hustle, right? And I was at a point in my career where I loved what I was doing, but I just kind of felt stuck. There was no room left to grow. I wanted to make a little more income. I was tired of working for other people. Anybody relating to any of this? Yeah. And most importantly, here's a shot of my family. I wanted more time with my family. I was always working, and I was always working. I used to travel. One year I did 29 business trips in 1 year, constantly traveling and never seeing my family. And so I wanted something that could eventually replace my income from my career job and give me the flexibility to be at home. Can I get an amen on that one? Here's the problem. When the heck was I going to fit this in? I was already so busy. How was I going to build a business on the side? On the side of what? Just take away sleeping time, right? And this is what I was thinking at the time. And I know probably some of you can relate to that too. And so as a professional coach, I knew exactly what I needed to be doing in my business. The challenge was it was time consuming. I needed to find tools to help me leverage that time so that I could be with my family. Now I knew that in other industries, great software tools exist to help people build their business. I had already, as part of my career, built a tool for the real estate industry here in the US. And so I knew that they existed. And I tried to use my real estate tool for a while to build my business. It just wasn't working. So long story short, I knew that I needed a tool like Teamzy. So I built it for myself and figured if other people buy it, that would be great. It would pay for it, right? And so we launched Teamzy. Just kind of in 2015, we launched Teamzy. In just about 5 years, we actually launched it right at Christmas. So at the end of the year, 2015. Just about 5 years, we've had more than 150,000 network marketers use Teamzy, which is like the most amazing and humbling thing. We're not a big tech company. For those of you, used to be, oh, you're not a big tech company. Now everyone's like, thank God you're not a big tech company, right? We're not a big tech company. We are family owned type thing. So this 150,000 is organic, just like all of you are here because Dave said, hey, I found something cool, guys, come check this out. And so we've grown and grown and grown. Just to give you an idea of results, I went too fast past that. Our active users averaging about 21 new customers and 9 recruits over 90 days. Averaging 21 customers and 9 recruits over 90 days. And that's across every network. So it's kind of like the bare bottom average. But how many of you wouldn't mind multiplying that by 4 and calling that your year? Totally, right? And so it's all about consistent application, which I'm going to talk to you about tonight. So let's dive into this topic though, relationship marketing. Relationship marketing. As I mentioned, I've been teaching this for 20 years. The principles hold true for any business because every business is between human beings, right? So relationship marketing, these principles hold true for any business, but we got to have systems to them too. But let's talk about what it is first. Relationship marketing is a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. By the way, if you guys aren't taking notes, you might want to get stuff out because I'm going to drop a bunch of stuff you probably wish you'd written down. Okay, so we're flipping this on its head. See, because our industry tends to go for the sale, right? Message everybody you know, make them the offer, see if you can get a couple interested. And what happens is people think, wow, I thought we were friends. Like you're just trying to get something from me. You're painting a target on my back, which is why our industry has a bad reputation, right? So we want to put our focus first on the people. How can we invest in the people we know? How can we build and deepen relationships with people, right? By the way, this is going to be much more rewarding emotionally for you guys building your business this way. The next piece is that, man, my computer's going too quick today. I'm touching it, it's too sensitive. Also, relationship marketing is not some abstract feel-good concept, right? Some people hear the term relationship marketing. They're like, oh, okay, here we go. Here's another one of these guys. We're going to hold hands, sing Kumbaya at the end of this call, right? And not get any results. I want you to understand this is a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. It's a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. I just want you guys to know, if this system didn't work, I would have really skinny children. Right? But for 20 years, teaching this system has kept us all well fed because it gets incredible results. Next piece on relationship marketing from a business perspective, it's a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system. And that's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. I know it's a mouthful. Some of you guys have business backgrounds, so you get this. When you started your Lifewave business, you didn't become a sales rep for them. You started your own business. And as a business owner, the first role, I shouldn't say like first, the most important role of a business owner is to bring leads into the business. Make sense? You go work for a restaurant, it's not your job to bring in customers. It's your job to serve them, right? The owner brings in the customers. Your job is to lead generate. So you have to figure out what's the best lead generation system for your business. I happen to think nothing works better than relationship marketing, but you guys need to understand this isn't just philosophical. This is the system we implement to build the business with. Here's a quick principle on this. You're in the lead generation business. That's your business, is generating leads. Make sense? You guys have heard this. Some of you have heard this before, and we need to be reminded more than taught, right? We're in the lead generation business, but it's a little different. You know, and typically sales talk, lead generation, it's like we dehumanize people and we put the dollar signs on them, right? I want you guys to understand the way I look at a lead generation is meeting people. Meeting people. Make sense? So our job is to meet people. Let's simplify it down to its core. Our job is to meet people. Why? Because then we're going to develop relationships with them. So your paramount duty as a business owner, developing and deepening relationships. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. So you're going to meet people so that you can develop and deepen relationships with them. This is the core of the business. Make sense? It's like if you owned a giant apple orchard, your primary role is not harvesting apples. It's caring for the orchard. Make sense? Okay. Why is it so important that we build the relationships? Because we turn our relationships into advocates. We turn our relationships into advocates by investing time in providing outstanding service. We turn our relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. Just really quick on this concept, you guys. I wish I could spend all day on this because honestly, it's a passion spot of me. passion area for me. Our business typically teaches people, okay, grab your list. You know, what we're going to do is here's a script. Send this script to everybody you know. Don't worry then when they reject you. Rejection's part of the game, Eric. You just got to have a tough skin. You just got to power through the rejections. Does this sound familiar, guys? And it's like, okay, great. So you're going to send it to 100 people. 98 of them are going to reject you. 2 are going to buy. That's a good day, Eric. You got 2 new customers. It's all good. But here's what I want you guys to understand. What to me is so inefficient about this approach is the 98 no's now don't want to talk to you anymore. They're dead. They're dead. Make sense? And some of these could be friends and family. Now when you walk towards them, they cross the street to avoid you. And so it's like this whole go for no philosophy. It's like you're taking people, they say no, you throw them over your shoulder like a dead body and keep going. This is a big problem because that's not how business is built in any other industry. Business is built by creating advocates. Somebody says, no, I'm not interested in that funky thing, that funky patch that does stuff I don't understand. I'm not interested in that. That's okay. That's cool. We continue building the relationship. Why? Because what we want from this person is for them to be our advocate, to be so excited about the mission we're on that they feel compelled to tell other people about it, even if they never become our customer or join our team. And I want you guys to understand, in my business, some of my biggest advocates weren't customers. They were so fired up on how I was helping people, even if they didn't see the product was something they would need, that they wanted to tell other people about it. And when you unleash an army of advocates through relationship marketing, your business will continue to grow. And by the way, there's no burnout. It's super fun. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. And so it's shifting the thinking to going for no to going for yes. And so next principle here I want to explain to you is this. Relationship marketing, it depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust, which means you can never, some of you guys are going to be like, amen, this is what I want. You can't do anything disingenuous. You can't do anything slightly manipulative. You can't do anything that may feel like you're did a little bait and switch, which I feel like our industry is based on the bait and switch, right? It's like, come on down for free, free drinks, and then we'll give them a presentation, or, let's have lunch and catch up. You pull out the binder. It's like the bait and switch is how this business has been done for 50 years. With relationship marketing, everything depends on trust, which means you can't do that, which is a relief, right? We get to actually focus on being genuine, being authentic in everything that we do, even down to social media, everything. Now, here's the good news. Trust makes the work fun. When people trust you, you don't have to sell them. You don't have to convince them. You get right to helping them, right? And some of you may have experienced this already. People trust you so much that like, you don't even have to tell me what it does, man. Just how much is it and when can I get it? I trust you. If you say it's good, right? And some of you guys have relationships like that. That's where we're going with all our relationships. Trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. I know we've got people from all pieces of the globe here, right? But I think everybody understands what the icky salesperson is, right? And how many of you, the last thing you want is for someone to think of you as the icky salesperson? That's me. The easy way to do it is just to ask you this. How many of you hate rejection? Yeah, that's me too. Okay. So, funny story. If I always say, if I had time, I'd tell you, but I'll probably tell you the reason why I built Teamzy, honestly, was because when I was new in my business, I got promoted. My first month, I got promoted to a leadership level of my business. I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't really understand the comp plan. I was just sharing. And so I got put in a group of leaders by corporate, and I was the new person. And they're like, Eric, welcome to the group. We're doing a go for no challenge. I was like, a what? And they tried to explain to me, this is what we're doing. We're going for no. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That makes me feel icky. That sounds like rejection. And I started realizing there was a need for this approach. I thought it was obvious because I'd been teaching it for so many years in other businesses. I knew that network marketing needed this approach. Finally, with trust, you get to go for yes. Forget the go for no stuff. We're never doing that again. Is it anybody on board with never having to do that again? I'm going to show you a better way today. Okay, so how do you build trust? Let me just leave you with some things you can do, and then we'll dive into Teamzy, and I'll show you how we apply it through the software. So there's 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Okay. Now, Walter, I know that you're in my lead group, so you're going to learn 7. You can come back to the team later and share the extra stuff. But there's 4 essential ingredients to building trust. And when you're talking to prospects, your customers, and your team members, these are the main things I want you guys to think about. Number 1 is chemistry. Okay, chemistry. Number 2 is character. Number 3 is competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. All right, let me just explain these really quickly from my perspective. Here we go. Chemistry is creating a connection with someone. Where do you have common ground with them? What is it about you they can relate to, right? Chemistry is creating a connection with someone. Where do you have common ground with them? What is it about you they can relate to? Here's a principle that may seem obvious, but I need to state the obvious because everything hinges on this. People want to do business with a friend, especially this business. They want a friend. Does this make sense? And they don't want to do business with someone they don't like. So it's important that we build that connection. First thing we want to do is build some rapport, be friendly, be interested in them. And one of the big challenges that I've had sometimes over the years working with business owners who have a sales focused business is getting them out of the I'm trying to get a sale mode and get them into just be interested in this person for a minute mode. Make sense? So we want to build that connection first. Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. This is important because we think of character as the sum of all the good things I've done in my life, right? I'm a person. How many of you would say you're a person of good character? Hopefully you would all say that. But here's the point though that matters is it doesn't matter how good your character has been. You need to be demonstrating character. It's not something that you have, it's something that you do. Does this make sense? It's like just an analogy. I think of love as an example, right? People think love is a feeling. Love is an action. It's a decision to take action. When somebody says, well, I was in love with that person. I was in love with that person, but I'm not anymore. That's like character, right? It's what you're doing today that matters. Does this make sense? And your character is the number one thing people are looking at. It's the number one people are looking at is your character. And think about it right now, because we are in a really unique time in history. Would you guys agree? Where people's character, companies' character, government's character is being revealed. And we're all making decisions based on that, aren't we? Totally. And it's the same in your business too. And not everybody's thinking about it like, let me see, how's Leslie's character? It's sometimes just emotional. Sorry, Leslie, you're on my screen, so you get picked on for a second. It's emotional. It's just a feeling, right? It's a feeling. My wife talks about her gut. My gut tells me he's a bad person. She's never wrong. Isn't that interesting? You guys have anybody? How many of you guys are like that, or you have a spouse like that? So character is super important. I always talk about, it's everything. It's how you post on social media. Is it selfish or is it serving your audience? How do you care for your customers, your prospects? How do you follow up? Do you follow up when you say you will? Do you show up late to appointments on Zoom? I mean, how hard is it to get on a Zoom on time, right? Like all of these little things that put yourself above them, make people feel belittled. I don't know if some of you may have discovered my book. I wrote a book called Power Hour Boss. Just made me think of this. So I have a brother-in-law who's this amazing, amazing dude. And he has this philosophy about making people feel small, making people feel taller, not smaller. And so all the little things that we do in our day that make people feel taller, show that we care for them. I always joke about, are you courteous on the roads when you're driving your car? Right? Are you a maniac on the roads? Or are you courteous to other people? Things like that. If you find that you're a little too aggressive and maybe a little maniacal on the roads, then put a sticker on your car that has your business on it. So that forces you to show your business character a little more, right? Number 3 is competence. Competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. You guys have a really cool product. I haven't used it personally, but my business partner and one of the founders of Teamzy does use your product, and he was telling me about it the other day. as soon as Dave reached out to me and I looked at what the company was, I knew it was something he was using. Isn't that interesting? I messaged him, have you heard of this company? He's like, yeah, we use that all the time. But is it something that kind of takes some explaining for the average person? Do you need to understand how this works? Is there a level of education required? Absolutely. So if you're just, my cousin who I remember, having a few pints and your pants on backwards, now suddenly you're bringing me this sophisticated product, right? Do I believe in your competence? Have you demonstrated for me that now you're really good at this new thing? Does this make sense? So the first piece is I need to know that you're good at what you do, like that you know about the products, you understand how they work, are you with me?
Yep.
This is important. So for those of you who are new, you need to become the professor of your business, if that makes sense. You need to get every training, get every story. Stories are even more important than the technical knowledge, right? You need to get all the stories. I already have some cool stories. They're going to feather in from one conversation. I have some cool stories. I'm going to feather them into my presentation tonight. You can use them, but you got to know all those stories. You got to know exactly where you're coming from. The second piece is the business end. So the products are amazing. Thank you for introducing them to me. Now I'm thinking about becoming a distributor myself. Why should I join your team? Do I believe that you are capable of mentoring me to success? Does it make sense? How are you demonstrating that to me? And again, it's important that you are sharing. So here's the thing I want you guys to do. Besides becoming competent is you have to demonstrate. See that word demonstrate? You can't just be competent. You have to demonstrate it. You have to show people, I just learned this. I just learned that. Okay. Oh, did you guys know this? Or I just hit a milestone in my new business. Look at this. Like people need to see the progression of your competence. Are you with me? Okay. Now real quick on this, because we're talking about being authentic and building trust. Sometimes you may have heard people say, hey man, when you're new, you just fake it till you make it. That's all good. Just fake it till you make it. You got to have swagger. And I want to encourage you not to do that. Okay. Because faking it is lying. Okay. But here's what you do when you're new. You lean into your upline. You lean into your team members. You tell their stories. You share their confidence. You let people know you're part of a championship team. I had a mentor years ago who was a baseball fan, and he was not a Yankees fan. Just some of you guys are from the States and this could get divided. So this is an analogy, not if you hate the Yankees, don't get after it. But for a period in history, the Yankees were the most winningest championship team ever, right? They kept winning and winning and winning. And the example was, he said, when you're a rookie drafted by the Yankees and you've never played a game, you've never stepped on the field, but they give you that jersey. And as soon as you put the jersey on, guess what? You are a champion. Why? Because you're part of a championship team. So new people here, maybe you're not as competent. Maybe you don't know how everything works. Maybe you're like me, I didn't even know the comp plan until I got a big paycheck. And then I was like, wow, I need to look into this. You need to talk about your team. You need to tell people stories. You need to share about the mentoring you're getting, right? You need to tell them about oh my gosh, we're using this thing called Teamzy. We just met the CEO. It was so cool. Like, share this stuff so people see that you're progressing. They see that you are part of a winning team, because people want to join a winning team. You don't have to be the champion yourself yet. Are you with me? Mm-hmm. Okay, but it's so important to be authentic. Now, really quick on this principle behind these three. This is a big one. When someone's going to do business with you, they really only care about three things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now, look, if somebody believes these are yeses, they're your advocate. They love you. They can't help talking about you, right? If they're not sure, maybe they're not sure that you care about them, or they're not sure yet if they can trust you, then they'll raise objections. Do you guys ever get objections? Yeah, nothing wrong with you, nothing wrong with them. You haven't built the relationship deep enough yet. So they raise objections. That's okay. Objections are great. Objections are ways of people saying, I'm interested, but you got to help me get there, right? So keep investing in overcome the objections, but keep investing in the relationship. Somebody that you bring on through objections and you don't continue to invest in the relationship, those are the people who end up quitting soon. Right? Does it make sense? You got to keep investing. You got to keep investing. Going back to my orchard, it's like planting a new tree, right? A new tree is, when you put a new tree in the ground, it's dangerous. That new tree could die. There's for lots of reasons. You have to pay close attention until it takes root. Same thing with a new relationship. Now, look, if somebody is sure about one of these being a no, if any one of these is a no, they'll never do business with you, and they'll warn all their friends and family away from you. With me? Are you guys with me? I mean, this is what like Yelp and Amazon reviews have done to companies. You mess one of these up, you get the 1-star review and the don't ever do business with this company, right? And you see those and you're like, oh man, they really made that person mad. Okay. So you got to be paying attention to these things. Number 4 is consistency. Fourth ingredient to building trust is consistency. This is the most important one too. Because no matter how great you are at everything, if you're not consistent, no one's going to believe you. True? I know, Eric, this sounds like work. Yeah, you're going to have to work for this. Everything sounded so great till now. But this is the work piece. Everything that we do that matters in our life, we have to do it consistently, right? You want to be, 50 years old and have a great smile. You needed to brush those teeth consistently for at least 40 years, didn't you? Right? Yeah. It's everything that we want to do in our life. Now, when it comes to our business, it's things like, being a consistent product to your product, right? Telling people about how it's helping you, sharing, look at what has happened, right? There you go. See, boom. It's about consistently sharing. That was Dave showing me his product. If you guys didn't see it, it's about consistently sharing on social media. It's about consistently sharing your journey of growth. Are you guys with me? These things are mega, mega important. But most important is this. Here's the real question. Well, wait, I have a principle here to share first before I get into the most important question. The principle, here's an extra principle. This is an extra added feature of consistency. That's that people respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. This is why it builds trust. They see it. Wow, that's so cool. Because they know how hard it is to be consistent. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. I joked about brushing your teeth for 40 years. How many of you have raised or are raising kids? Isn't it so incredibly hard to get your kids to brush their teeth consistently? I mean, if you think about all the things you struggle with as an adult, go back in time and imagine how many times your mother or your father yelled at you to brush your dang teeth, right? Until you finally got there. And so this is where we're working with ourselves, but people see consistency. They want it in their lives. So not only does it build trust, but it attracts people to your business, to you, to your team. This builds your team. Being consistent builds your team. Some of you may know my network marketing business was Beachbody. Have you guys ever heard of Beachbody? They do like workouts, and yeah, I mean, I don't do that anymore because Teamzy took off, but I have to tell you that when I was working for Beachbody, I was so fit. Why was I so fit? Because I was selling fitness. I had to consistently show people that I was doing it so they would want to do it. I mean, it was like the best thing. So that's why as leaders, when you guys are building teams, you need to be the best at this. You need to be the most consistent at this. Even maybe you're not the best, but you need to be the most consistent, because that's what draws people to your team and that's what helps them stick. Make sense? Okay, but here's the real question. The checkup from the neck up, as Zig Ziglar used to say, are you as consistent with your relationships? Everyone was like, yeah, look, I'm wearing my patch, it's all good. But are you as consistent with your relationships? And what I mean is staying in touch with people, because you need to understand that relationship building is a contact sport. In other words, if I want to build a relationship with somebody, there's nothing substitutes for actually staying in contact with them. Are you with me? You have to be in regular contact. If you hired me as a consultant for your business, first thing I would say is, what's your plan for staying in contact with everyone you know? I'd be like, that's insane. Why would I do that? Because this is how mega businesses are built. This is how mega businesses are built. I know your time is scarce, which is why we built Teamzy, you guys. It's all designed to help you do this in a minimum amount of time. Does this make sense? But I want you to get this. I want to get you this principle before I jump into Teamzy, and that's this. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Now, just really quick before I jump into Teamzy, let me stop my share so I can see your faces, all of them, not just a couple. Let's see. Turn your cameras on if you're dressed so I can see your faces. Quantum visionary. Ooh, I like that, Michelle. We went 0 to 60 right there. Okay, really quick, just an example. How many of you have ever received a great card or letter from somebody that you love, and it had a handwritten message in it? And when you read that handwritten message, oh my gosh, it got you right in the heart. And hopefully everybody, right? If you've never received something like that, put your address in the chat. We're gonna write you a really good one today, send it out there. But I want you guys to think about this card or letter, the one that came to mind. Do you still have it somewhere? Have you kept it? How many of you have kept it somewhere? Who's got a stash of these somewhere in the house, like a big box or drawer full of them? We all do, don't we? How many countries do we have represented here? At least a few. It's universal. It's universal. We keep those things. In fact, when we pass on, often cards and letters are what our children treasure the most. Some of you probably own letters that were written to loved ones who've passed on, right? Okay, so wait, let me bring us back from the deep end here. How many of you have ever received something like this? These are birthday postcards that I received from these are specifically from my life insurance sales representative. The one person that we actually never want to talk to again, hopefully, right? But he sends me these cards every year around my birthday, and I get them. You guys get some of these sometimes from businesses, or, just like, yeah, is it nice to get? Maybe. Do you keep this? How many of these are kept? And nobody keeps these, right? They go right into the bin. What's the difference? So going back to the principle, if you want to deepen a relationship, you've got to invest time. Did this require an investment of time? No way. It's a bulk mailing. It required no investment of time. So we immediately put no value on it. It has no value. Because he didn't invest time, it has no value. Right? Now, the second piece is this is generic, meaning it doesn't even have my name. It is to you. So it's not personal. So there's no time invested. It has no value. It's not personal. So it fails to make a connection. Does it make sense? Now, this is just an example, but this is what 99% of marketing is like in the world. How many of you have a background in traditional marketing? Anyone? Oh, good. Well, we got one. Everyone's afraid to mention it. After I set it up like that, nobody wants to own it, like, yeah, me. But here's the thing, when you're marketing for a large company where they're throwing big dollars away, they're looking at a 1 or 2% response, calculating that's worth the time and effort. Does this make sense? How many of you, based on the effort it takes to sell your product, are good with a 1 or 2% return? No way. I want you to have a 50 to 80% return. Make sense? Which is why this business is done through relationship, not impersonally like this. Anything automated marketing, it's like this. No value. It's not valued by the person receiving it. Now, luckily for this person, we do have a relationship. We've been working together for 20 years on insurance. So when I get this, even though it was a low effort, I do think about him for a second, right? I do think about him for a second, but I have all the insurance I need. Hopefully my family won't ever have to call him because something happens to me to get paid, right? Makes sense? So remember that principle. If you want to deepen a connection, which is the whole point of today's talk, is how to systematically build and deepen relationships. If you haven't got that by now, that's what we're here to learn today, how to systematically build and deepen relationships. You've got to invest time and connect with people. Now, Teamzy lets you invest seconds and it feels like minutes to the receiver. Does that make sense? So it maximizes your time without minimizing the impact it has on people. And I'll show you how that works in a second. Okay, let's dive out of here and dive into Teamzy. I think I've got just one more slide. This is all great philosophically, right? But you need to have a system. You got to have a system to it. The system helps you to be consistent and it allows you to duplicate this. So you need a way to stay in contact with all of your relationships. You need to know when to contact them. You need to know what to say. Otherwise, you spend the whole hour planning what you're going to do, right? Wondering what you're going to say. Liz is like, yep, I feel that one. And you want to make sure nobody ever falls through the cracks, which is people falling through the cracks is the biggest problem in every business. In our business, the number is massive. The number is massive. Okay, really quick. Let's jump out of here and go into Teamzy. Oh, how many of you guys thought you were going to get more than just the nerdy software training today? I can't help myself sometimes. All right.
Loving this.
All right. So let me find Teamzy here. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So first off, thank you, everyone. Thank Dave. We've got a custom Lifewave version of Teamzy for you now. So you can thank him for that. We developed it thanks to his request. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So some of you may be using the generic Teamzy standard version. If that's you still, all you need to do is send an email over to support@teamzy.com and say, switch me to the Lifewave version, please. And they'll get you switched. Cool. All right. So for those of you who haven't started using it, you go to teamzy.com, start a free trial. You get 14 days free. You can do everything. You get access to everything during the free time. And then you want to make sure you choose the Lifewave version so you get the customized version. Okay. Once you're in your free trial, I'm just going to walk you through setup really fast. It sounds like a lot of you have already done this, but it'll be here on the recording for the new people. So this is the first screen of your free trial. And I'm not a very tech savvy person. I mean, I use an iPhone and I use, basic stuff that's easy for me, but I'm not real techie. How many of you guys are like that? That's me. So this is set up so that I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Some of you have come from corporate jobs where you've had to use a CRM software. They're super complicated and annoying. And we've endeavored to make this so simple that most people don't even know it's a CRM. Okay. So there's a little video from me we'll skip. You can subscribe to Facebook if you want. But here's where we want to start highlighting what we're doing. So this first real page in the setup wizard is to set your income goal. What's your income goal going to be? And I know some of you are in different types of currency. Just go with it. Just use the same number, but accept the $ sign and move on. Okay, don't sweat it. We geared this up for US audiences. But set your income, and you just slide this little circle to set your income. What's your goal? How much do you want to be making? Okay. So my goal was 150,000 when I first logged into Teamzy. So that's where I'm going to set it. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but when I slide this, my daily connect goals change. Okay. So the cool thing about this, because I've been teaching this for 20 years, because we've worked with so many people, we have an idea about how much work you need to be doing to get to a goal. So you'll know exactly what to do in Teamzy, which means you'll also know when you're done for the day. How cool is that? You're done for the day, right? Do you guys, I mean, who goes to the gym and works out for 11 hours once a week? That doesn't work, right? You go do a workout, you're done. And that's the way building your business should be too. You do your power hour and you're done. So you can see at 150,000, my goal is to connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 of my team members a day. Okay. So I'm going to click on continue. Except you shouldn't talk so long. Let me just refresh that and click continue. There we go. Oh, you know what just happened? It changed my goal, but that's okay. We'll go with an easier goal. You guys will give me a break on that. Oh, quick note on that last page. If you're already making big income, let's say you're already making 6 figures in your business and you want to double that, you're going to set your goal for the difference. Make sense? Because you're not asking Teamzy to recreate the income you already have. You're asking it to do the increase. This actually happened with a friend of mine who has a large organization here in the US. He's got 48,000 people in his downline. Oh, no. And he had set his income at like 650,000. And he was like, Eric, nobody can do this many connects in a day. I said, what was your goal? He told me. I said, well, what's your income now? And so it turned out he needed his goal to be like 150,000 in Teamzy. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. The next step is we're going to get your contacts into Teamzy. So this is really cool. So if you've already got your business going, the first thing you want to bring in is your team, right? Get your team imported into Teamzy, get all your customers imported into Teamzy. Then if you're not sure who to put in as prospects, your Facebook friends, your Instagram followers, that's the easiest, most obvious place to go. And we actually just put a new tool in Teamzy. I don't know if you guys have even seen this, but if you use Chrome, we can actually automatically sync over all your Facebook friends and Instagram followers, which is pretty cool. So there's that little Chrome extension. If you don't want to use Chrome, then there's instructions on how to get your Facebook and Instagram data and put it into Teamzy. So I actually don't use Chrome anymore, but I do use it just for Teamzy. Like it's my Teamzy browser. So I'm just, because I'm in the US, I'm just paranoid about big tech. Who's paranoid about big tech? Anybody? No, not yet. Okay. Okay. It's okay. I'll come for you next. All right. So once you get everybody into Teamzy, what's kind of cool is Teamzy will now actually, all your contacts will be in one place, super organized. You're not going to be digging through little pads of paper, sticky notes, whatever your spreadsheets, whatever you're using now, looking through your phone. Who did I contact last month? It's all going to be organized. Teamzy's cloud-based, which means you'll always have access to it. If you've got your smartphone in your hand, if you buy a computer, it's always with you. Make sense? So you meet somebody, you can open up Teamzy, put them right in the system. You don't have to put it on a napkin and then later figure that out. The other thing that's going to happen is Teamzy has kind of a magic way of keeping everyone cycling so that nobody falls through the cracks. And I'll show you that in a second. All right, so here we are, we're on our Teamzy dashboard. I'm in the special version just for you guys, and I've got all my contacts in. And let me just take you through just a quick look at a couple of these things, and then I want to show you how to do a power hour really quick. So you can see here where it says today's activities. These are my goals for today. And this is based on my income goal. So my goal is to connect with 7 prospects, 5 customers, and 3 distributors. So what is that? 15 people. That's like 15 minutes work in Teamzy. Seriously, once you get used to it, it's really fast. So what do I mean by connect? I mean, I want to reach out and make their day. Okay. We call it the make someone's day mindset. We used to have t-shirts that said make someone's day mindset. We want to get in the make someone's day mindset. This is what a power hour in Teamzy is all about. It's about hitting your goal by making people's day. Yes. Isn't that cool? So we're not sending a cheesy sales script. We're not sending them a video about Lifewave. We're just reaching out to make their day. Why is this so important? Because we want to make their day genuinely. And when from that place of positive energy, now we can have a great conversation. Okay. And remember the first principle I introduced to you guys today, the relationship comes before the sale. The conversation, investing in this relationship, taking a few minutes to genuinely be interested in another human being is the beginning of everything. Make sense? So what I want to encourage you guys to do is put aside the need for money, put aside the need to make a sale, put aside the goals to build right now, and just focus in on this person, have a conversation with them. And what you'll find is you will generate a lot of opportunities to talk about your business. Make sense? So let me kind of show you how this goes. So my first 3 goals are to connect with prospects, customers, distributors. I've also got a goal to make shares. And so that's when I'm sharing the business opportunity or I'm sharing the products with somebody. I'm going to do that when it's appropriate, right? When it's appropriate. And then I've got a goal to add people to Teamzy. So this is really important because again, our industry is all about share, and then throw people away when they say no. Now, I want to shift gears to another analogy. Imagine if you are looking to find a spouse and you walk into a pub, if that's what you do, I don't know, it's just an example, and you ask everyone to marry you. Are you surprised when most of the pub rejects you? Of course not. Now, one of those no's could be your spouse. Does this make sense? I know my spouse rejected me many times before she married me. In fact, when she came around the corner at our wedding with, in her dad's arms, I was like, oh my gosh, thank God she came. She came, thank goodness, right? Are you guys with me? But we're taught like, just go in and just make the proposal. So that's why we're going to share every day. We're going to set a goal. This isn't some milquetoast week. We're never going to talk about our business model, but we're going to find appropriate times to share so that we're highly effective. Make sense? And so we're building those relationships. Okay. And then I've got ads that's adding new people to Teamzy. You need fresh. I don't care if you know 10,000 people. You still need to be meeting new people. You need that fresh energy, fresh people into your business. Think of your business like a beautiful lake. Have you guys ever been to a beautiful lake teeming with life? If you shut the fresh water off from that lake, all the life dies. The fresh water is key. And the same thing with the business. The business can be teeming, but you just need that. You got to have that trickle of fresh. It energizes us. It energizes the business. Okay. So that's what we do in Tower Hour. We do prospects, customers, distributors, shares, and ads. With me? And so let me show you how this works. Teamzy is a CRM, which means all of your contacts are here. All of the contact information you have is stored. As you learn more about them, you store more information. Eventually, you know the names of their dogs, their favorite coffee drink, their spouse's names, the anniversary, right? You'll have all that in there as you get to know people and you build information about them. But that's the boring part. It's important, but boring. What Teamzy does that's really cool is this Power Hour module right here on the front of my screen. It takes all the data that's in Teamzy and it tells you exactly what to do right now today. So you don't have to think, you don't have to plan, you don't have to wonder, am I doing the right thing or connecting with the right people? It tells you exactly who to connect with today. Are you with me? So we use a really simple prioritization system, 5 stars. You guys are familiar with this. We use it everywhere in our life. We prioritize our relationships on a 5-star scale, 5 stars being the best, 1 star being the least. Think about these stars as the amount of trust you've earned with this person. Make sense? So 5-star people will come up first and they'll automatically cycle through every 30 days. So these are going to be your best relationships, because otherwise, if you message them every 30 days, they're going to be like, why are you bugging me? We're not that close, right? So these are your best relationships, but they come up first. They come back every 30 days. You don't have to think about it. If you forget or you lose track of the messaging, they come back on Teamzy. Message them again. 4-star people come up next. They show up every 60 days. 3-star people, they come up every 90 days. 2-star people come up every 120 days. Does this make sense? This allows you to stay in touch with a large list without being creepy and without dropping people through the cracks. I'll tell you, I've had some of you, you're all pretty new to Teamzy. 6 months from now, you'll have people saying, man, you're like clockwork. You are so consistent. People will comment like that, especially other salespeople who know how hard that is. They're like, wow, I had this guy that was like, man, you're like on the 27th of the month, every 3 months. How are you doing this? I said, oh, I have this great system. It's called Teamzy. He's like, wow, I need to look into that. Like, so other salespeople recognize it. Other people are like, wow, this is really cool. So let me show you how to do this. So we do our Power Hour. We work from left to right. There's 4 lists: prospects, customers, distributors. Those are pretty straightforward, right? Okay. And then your follow-ups. Okay. And I'll show you what that means in a second. Now on the right-hand side is where we log the message we're sending so that it's tracked as we go. Tracking is so important, right? Tracking gives us history of that relationship, but it also resets their clock in Teamzy. It resets it so that we can stay in touch the right sequence. Make sense? People always say, Eric, I connect with people all day and I just don't have Teamzy in front of me. It's like, you've just gone from, driving in a supercar back to walking. So it's in your phone. I said, what do you mean you don't have Teamzy with you? You didn't bring your smartphone with you? No, I always have my smartphone. So pull it out and use it. Are you guys with me? Okay. It's a new habit. It's a new habit. Okay. So let's just do this really quick. Let me give you a quick demo. So I'm going to start with prospects. First person on my list is Dave, which means I need to message Dave. Do you guys remember what I want to do when I message him? I want to make his day. I just want to make his day. So I'll come in here now. Some of you are like, how do you do that? So after about a year of Teamzy being out there, people were like, Eric, when you do team trainings, it sounds so easy. We don't know what to say. So I put all my scripts in Teamzy for you. So the Teamzy library, the scripts library is there. So if you click right here where it says scripts, you can just get a quick make someone stay script. I'll grab the first one off this list. It says, hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. Okay, hope your day is awesome. So just click on copy script. Now it's on my clipboard. Now I could go just paste that in Messenger or whatever and send it to them, but I like to paste it in Teamzy so I can edit it first. Do I have any, is there anyone on the call from the UK? So, okay, great. So you don't have to say awesome. I won't make you say awesome. You can say, I hope you're having a great day. Okay, cool. Overthinking is a disease. It's so funny. I do UK teams. They're like, we don't talk like this, Eric. There's no way we're going to say that. Great. So just like, you get the idea, right? You don't have to overthink it. I hope you're having a great day. Hope your day's
spectacular.
However, wherever you are. For me, it's like I started awesome and I work my way up from there. Does that make sense? So I'm a very enthusiastic person. So now I've got this set up the way I want it. Maybe you want to put like a couple emojis in there, personalize it a little bit more. All right, great. So I've got an emoji, whatever. Now you've got it just the way you want it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and go send it in Facebook, because Facebook, I got to send it separately, but that's cool. It's right here. Got Facebook in another tab. I'm going to look him up. There he is. Well, Dave says awesome. So There it is right there. Proof. He says, awesome. You can you can use scripts as they are. Okay. So I just sent it to him. Boom, done. And then I'm just going to log this in Teamzy. That was a Facebook message log. Do you guys see how easy that was? So even though I had to copy and paste, it still took me like 2 seconds. So one is done. See this now, one is done. This circle's starting to turn blue, 6 left. The next person on my list is Jay. I'm going to send her I'll just send her the same message. It's already on my clipboard. Just paste it back in there, change the name to Jay. Boom, there you go. Just a quick thing on this. Some of you are efficiency experts and you're like, I'm just going to change it to friend. And then I never have to change it. But then what happened is you stopped making it a personal connection. Make sense? It's like, oh, that was a blast text. He sent that to everybody. He used some app and blast texted everybody. So always when you start a new chat, always use their first name. Are you with me? And then after that, you don't use the name every time because that would be weird, but always when you start a new chat, use their first name. It's just like if you saw somebody in the market and their back was turned to you, you call out to them by their name, don't you? And they turn around, oh, hey, and now you're in conversation. So now I've got this ready to go to Jay. Hold on, I didn't copy it. I'm going to toggle over here to Facebook. I'm going to look her up quick. You can actually save their Facebook links in Teamzy too and just click it if you want. That's one extra step, which is cool. But there's Jay. There she is. I'm going to paste this in here. Jay works for Teamzy. As you can see, she gets these messages from me all the time. It's all good. It's funny because when, Jay's been with Teamzy since day one because I recruited her from my old company. Everybody who works for Teamzy has worked for me in the past, just so you guys know. I've never hired a stranger once. Are you guys the same way? Yeah. So it's kind of like network marketing. But she used to message me about clients in Facebook. I was like, you got to stop doing that because when I pull you up in a demo, they can see that you're irritated with a client and asking me advice. And it's right. So I'm on a team call and they're like, oh, great. Right. So it's all good. So we log this one, probably too much information, but it's okay. So now I've got 2 done, 5 left. Do you see how this is progressing? Honestly, you can just use that first script all the way through your whole list. You don't need to overthink and customize that for the hello. Now, when I message Jay and she responds to me, and now we're in a conversation, now it's appropriate for me to go open her Facebook feed or her Instagram, wherever she lives, and look at it a little bit as I'm engaging with her. But if I invest a lot of time before I send that first message, what if she doesn't respond? That was wasted time and energy. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me? Yeah. So use the energy where it's appropriate when you're investing in somebody, but when you're just throwing out a hello, I hope you're having a great day. You don't need to overthink that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way down this prospects list, just sending the message, not even responding. I don't want to respond yet. As people are coming back and being like, oh my gosh, great to hear from you. Just like focus on getting all your messages done. And before you because that's the rabbit trail, right? That'll distract you. You'll never get your power hour done. So when that circle's all the way blue on prospects, I'm done messaging prospects today. I'll go back over to my next list, which is customers. Okay, so these are all my current or past customers. I've got them in Teamzy. Now I'm going to start messaging them and checking in on them. Dave, did you have something? I saw you on.
Yeah, Eric, I'd just like you to go over, because a lot of people would be new to the team. So they would have a lot of prospects from their Facebook or Instagram, but a lot of people might not yet have customers or distributors.
Right. Good question. So if you don't have customers or distributors, so in my example, it's 7 prospects, 5 customers, 3 distributors. Let's say you're brand new. So you would take all 15 and put them on prospects for now.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
So
Beautiful.
for your power hour, you're doing all 15 connects as prospects. Now, as your team grows, you can rebalance it out.
And you can actually edit the activities out. So
yeah, you can click
0 on the distributors and customers and all 15 in prospects.
Right. So you can go right here where it says edit daily goals. And you can go in and you can change the numbers to put 15 on prospect, 0, 0. Then you can still get your 100% feel good stuff from the dashboard. Make sense? But then just keep in mind, as you do grow the customer base and distributor base, you want to rebalance that. Okay. So the next one is customers. And this is so important. This is where so many people in our industry mess up, is they over years, I talk to people, I've been in this business 11 years. I've got hundreds and hundreds of customers. I'm not in touch with any of them. I'm like, oh, This is the gold mine. This is the gold mine. Does this make sense, you guys? I want you guys to understand something. There's 3 reasons why you should be in regular contact with your customers. Now, the way Teamzy works, super easy. You don't need to have a complicated follow-up plan with customers. They come up in Teamzy, you message them. Make sense? You rank them and you message them. Just checking in, same thing. It's just to make their day. It's just to check in. It doesn't need to be about the product. So you can check in. I'll show you some of the scripts here for Luis. So like I'll grab a couple scripts that I can send him. So I've got, regular connects. I've got this one, which is, congratulations on great results. Do you guys think you're going to get great? Yeah. This is the best way to talk about a product. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on great results. My buddy Mike, his daughter has had severe pain. She's had an issue that's caused her severe pain. Lifewave has helped her pretty much eliminate that pain. Nothing else worked. Does this make sense? Like, how awesome. Hey, I heard that you just had like a whole week pain-free. Congratulations. Can you think of a better way to talk about that product ever? You don't have to mention the product. Are you guys with me? But even just stuff like this, how are you enjoying, wait, it didn't click, sorry. How are you enjoying the whatever product they're using? How are you enjoying it? Send me an update. Let me know how I could be of help. Sometimes you'll find people will respond to this and say, I haven't even opened the box. I'm so glad I reached out to you. Let's get that box open. I'm going to check back with you on Wednesday. Are you with me? This is so important, but I want you guys to understand, we make it easy. Teamzy makes it easy for you to message them. But there's 3 reasons why staying in contact with customers is so vital to your business. The first one is it's just good service, right? Can I get an amen on that one? It's just good service. But number 2, when you're in regular contact with customers, this is statistically true for any business. They order more product and they retain longer. When you're in consistent contact with customers, I'm going to say it again for those of you taking notes, they order more product and they retain longer. Now, not every customer, but overall, this will happen. You'll see your volume go up. You'll see customers stay longer. The other thing is when customers aren't getting product for a while, a lot of people call them canceled or previous customers. I like to say when customers aren't getting product for a while, they reorder when you're in contact. Are you with me? Just because somebody canceled their auto reorders or whatever doesn't mean they're not your customer anymore. I want you guys to get that clear. You need to think of them as your customer for life. If somebody bought, I know you guys don't have like $2 items, but let's say you had a $2 item and somebody bought a $2 item from you. That person is an infinitely better lead than anyone you'll ever meet because they've already given you $2. Are you with me? So you need to understand customers are, there's an old saying, which is, a bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. You heard that? Like, I don't even know where that comes from, but that's the point is somebody who's been your customer is they already trust you. They're already your customer. They are like solid gold. Now, the third reason why you want to be in regular touch with your customers, and this is the big one, is the best place to get new great customers is from great customers. Does this make sense? When somebody's using your product and they're loving it, they are talking about it. It's how people work. It's how people are. You guys have a transformative product. People are talking about it. And then what happens is now their friends and family are very excited about this product. So you guys need to understand 90%, they did a survey this last year. 90% of people say they make their purchasing decisions based on the recommendation of a friend. 90%, not because of marketing, not because of anything else, because of a friend's recommendation. This goes back to when we were talking about people want to do business with their friends. So think about this. Your customers are talking to their friends who are 90% of their decisions are based on friends' recommendations, which means they have customers lined up for you. Your customers have customers lined up for you. The question is, are you getting introduced to them? And most people I talk to aren't getting introduced to them. They may, at best tell their customers, please tell your friends about me. Here's my business card. Tell your friends to call me. You guys, listen. Imagine driving down the highway in your car and throwing the business cards out the window and praying that the right person catches them before they hit the ground. That is the same chance that that's going to work. Instead, you build the relationship with those customers by staying in regular contact with them in Teamzy. Are you with me? And then you can have a conversation like this. And I'm going to use my quantum visionary, Michelle, as my example. Michelle, I know you've been getting amazing results. with your Lifewave products. And I'm sure that you probably have shared some of those results with friends and family. You've probably got a few people excited to learn a little bit more about Lifewave. So can you think of anybody right now, before I get too busy this month, that needs more information? Because you're my favorite customer and I want to make sure I take care of your people first. Right? And she's like, oh my gosh, Eric, yeah, I was just talking to a couple people the other day, actually. So funny that you bring it up. Well, perfect. Would you mind quickly introducing them to me? Whatever's easiest, like a group text, group Facebook chat. Just do a quick intro and I'll get them some more information. We'll take it from there. Sure. So see, what I've done is I've got the people in her mind. I've asked her to do something very simple and I told her exactly how to do it. Are you with me? And so now she's very likely to go, yeah, sure, I'll do it right now. And so boom, all of a sudden I get this, Facebook chat. It's like, hey, Leslie, hey, Dave, this is my friend, Eric. Remember the Lifewave stuff I was telling you about? He's the guy that introduced me. I know you were interested in learning more, so I just wanted to connect you guys. Boom. Now I've got 2 new people. I'm going to put them in my Teamzy. I'm going to start building relationships with them. Are you with me? And guess what? These people already trust me. They don't know me from Adam. Why do they trust me? They trust me because they trust Michelle. Do you see what I'm talking about? You can go spend $1 million on learning Instagram and not get a stronger prospects than the ones introduced by your customers. This is so important. This is how business has been built for 4,000 years, you guys. It's not new. This is the new school, old school approach. Make sense? I'm here to tell you, guys, excuse me, got a little frog in there. If you're using Teamzy consistently, you'll be getting introduced this way by customers to, I would say, between 3 and 10 people every month. Once you get in the groove, using this consistently. And all of those are going to be great leads. Some of those people will convert right away. Some of those people will have to percolate a little while in your Teamzy. But now you're connected. Now you have them. Does this make sense? Are you guys with me on this? Okay. Now what happens when both of those people are interested? Guess what I now have besides 2 people who are interested? I have a new distributor. Hello. I'm going to go to Michelle and say, Michelle, thank you for introducing me to your friends. They're both ready to get started. That was awesome. I really appreciate you supporting the business. But I just want to ask you a question before I sign these 2 up. Have you considered doing what I'm doing? Because you literally just introduced 2 people, effortlessly to the business. And I would be happy to start you out and have these be yours. Are you guys tracking with me? Staying in touch with customers is professionalism. It's how you increase your volume and your retention. It's how you get new customers, and it's how you find your best recruits. Right? How cool. Okay, next list is distributors. So I'm the same thing. I'm just going to message. I get to my distributors. This is my team. Again, if you don't have a team, don't worry about it. You're just going to be prospecting for now, but you'll get there. Imagine what your team's going to look like when you've hit your goals, how big it's going to be, how successful it's going to be. And I want you guys to understand something. It's so important that you prioritize having a relationship with your team members now before you get huge, right? It's hard to start when you've got a huge team, but as you build your team this way, it creates a different type of culture. See, the biggest problem in our business is not finding customers or recruits, it's keeping them. It's retention. The turnover in our industry is huge. How many of you guys have been in network marketing before or for a while? The turnover is what kills us, isn't it? And so this is how you impact turnover. Because if you guys look at, you go read every social study that's ever been done on what makes people productive, what helps retain workers. It's not money, it's not income, but it's relationship. It's relationship. And if they feel connected to you, if they feel cared for by you, if they feel part of something bigger than themselves, if they feel like there's a community that they're plugging into, they're likely to stay longer. Make sense? This, by the way, is why my company is called Teamzy, not Leadsy or Salesy, or right? It's Teamzy, because like our little company byline is build your team so you can build your business, so you can build your life, right? So team is where the focus is. We want to build that community. And listen, it doesn't take, you don't have to be amazing at this. I mean, but it starts with just being in regular contact with people, because time flies, man. Time flies. You don't realize you haven't talked to somebody in 6 months until they come up in Teams and you're like, oh my gosh, right? So this helps us put an emphasis on building that. So really quick, the first half of your power hour, prospects, customers, distributors, just sending a quick message to lift them up, let them know you're thinking of them, stay in touch. Then what happens is people respond. People respond. And you guys that have been using Teamzy, let me see hands if you're surprised how many people have responded. It's huge, right? And so you should be getting, assuming you're using my scripts, you should be getting between 50 to 100% response. If you're starting with your 5 and 4 stars, you'll probably get 100% response. Some of you, I don't know if any of you have seen me do the training where I talk about my first power hour in Teamzy. It was the first power hour ever in Teamzy because I was the only one who had it. I started messaging people and I went past my time, and I got to 40. I sent 43 messages before my kids interrupted me. And I was like, wow, that was so easy. And they all responded that day. And it was like the most insane week because I had 43 chats going, trying to keep track of them all. It was crazy. But it did actually, I don't know, it's somewhere on my desk. My desk is messy. Sorry. That's the problem with Zoom, is I can hide the mess under the camera. You can't tell. But it resulted in me getting a personally handwritten card from the owner of Beachbody that month. Like, don't know what you did, but it was crazy. And that's when I knew I was onto something here that people needed, which was Teamzy. Because again, I was a nobody. Nobody had heard of me. I wasn't a big producer that was on the company conference calls or anything. I was literally working in my house like you guys are, just trying to figure it out. And boom, stuff came together quick. So people will respond, and now you're having a chance to have a conversation. Oh, it's so great to hear from you. Great. So it's, it's just like you're bumping into them in the market. Now you're going to have a conversation with them. Some of those conversations are going to be great, and some of those conversations are going to fizzle out fast. True. So that's okay, because you're starting a lot of conversations, as opposed to going for no, where it's just like you're getting a lot of rejection. You're ruining the relationship, and you got a couple of nice conversations. So some of those conversations that will fizzle out, they're in your Teamzy. They're going to come back up in a month or two, and you can spark it up again. Over time, you can deepen those conversations. Some of those conversations will immediately get deep, especially if you guys are consistently sharing on social media. People will already be interested a lot of times in talking to you about your business because you're not shoving it down their throat. Make sense? So you're just going to have a conversation. So I'm going to just use Dave as my guinea pig. He responds, hey man, great to hear from you. And so now we're having a chat. Especially with 2 guys, that conversation could fizzle out really quick. So I'm just going to give you guys my little, what I have found works really well to getting the conversation going is just this little line. You guys ready? This isn't in my script. So if you want to write this down, you can. I would just say, hey, and what have you been up to lately? Send me an update. What have you been up to lately? Send me an update, especially if it's been a long time since we've talked, which is just about everybody, right? There's a psychology behind this that my mentor and business partner taught me, which is, it's not about asking an open-ended question. It's about asking an open-ended question and finishing it with a directive. People do really well when they're told exactly how to do it. Think about your kids, right? So it's like, go clean your room. They're paralyzed. Start by picking up your laundry and putting it in the hamper. Okay, now they know what to do, right? So it's like, what have you been up to? Send me an update. He knows exactly what to do. And then I get the, this is what we've been up to. My kids are doing this. My wife is doing this, right? So they give you information, which now is like everything you need to have a great conversation. Are you with me? And this is exactly what you might do in the market if you had time. So it's great. So now he's telling me all this information. I'm asking questions. Oh, that's really cool. How is that? Oh my gosh, tell me about that holiday. I've always wanted to do that. What was that like? And so we're having a little chat over, it might take a few days because it's usually like messaged or texted, right? When he is giving me an update on his life, what am I going to do? I'm going to tell him about mine. Does it make sense? Now, guys, I know not every conversation is going to go perfectly like this, but this is the goal, is to have a great conversation like this and to rely on the law of reciprocity, which is As I'm interested in him, now I need to tell him about what I'm doing. And I'm going to give him a quick update on my life, which will include my family. What do you talk about? Your family, your interests, your work, right? What's work? How many of you have jobs outside of your business? Yeah, we're not going to talk about your job. We're going to talk about your business. Okay. So the part where you would usually complain about a boss or whatever, I don't know. I love it when people complain about their boss. Do you guys love it when people complain about their boss? Yeah, because it makes it easy to talk about Lifewave, doesn't it?
Mhm.
So now I'm telling them, oh my gosh, it's been crazy. We got a dog. We were in quarantine. You know how that was. We were like in our house for practically a year. We got a new dog because we were always here, and then we felt like the dog was lonely, so we got another dog. So I've got puppies everywhere. It's just been, Oh, did I tell you about my home-based business that I started? Right? It's just part of the conversation, you guys. It's not a big deal. It's not like I'm ready to pounce on them with something. It's like I got to tell them it's part of it. I started my home-based business, which has been amazing. I don't know if you've ever heard of this technology, but this is what it is, and this is how it's changed my life. And I was like, man, this is so cool. Other people need to get this. And so it turns out there was an opportunity for me to have my own business, which has been amazing because during the pandemic, I was able to have income coming in. I was able to start having some freedom to build. It was really cool. Do you guys see how easy it is to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Don't overcomplicate this. I was just helping my son Cruz with his math, and he's really brilliant. And I'm like, dude, you're overcomplicating it. You're trying to make this into some sort of derivative equation. It's addition. Just add the two things together, right? And we do the same thing. How do I talk about my business? Oh my gosh, how do I talk about it? Eric, when do I talk about it? I mean, I have to tell you guys, I do webinars where I'm like, the best time to mention your business, and I'll get 1,000 people on the webinar because they're like, when is it? Tell us. Demystify this for us. Just have a conversation with somebody and tell them what you do. Here's the two things I want you to do in your own words, which is tell them what you do and why you're passionate about it. Tell them what you do and why you're passionate about it. Now, here's what happens when I'm having a conversation and I'm catching up with my life. I'm telling them about my business and why I do it, what it is I do, and why I'm passionate about it. No matter what, he's going to be like, that's cool. Good for you. How many of you wish you could go back in time and everyone you told about your business would respond that way? It's just in the how you do it, because at this point, he's not threatened in any way by my business. He's not got his defenses up. I'm not trying to sell him anything. I'm sharing with him what I'm doing and why I'm passionate about it. And he thinks that's pretty cool. Okay. Now, he may have no interest in it. It might be weird to him. He might not even know what it is yet. It doesn't even matter. But one thing I will do in this conversation is I will let him know, yeah. And if you ever, just to let you know, by the way, if you ever want to learn more about it, just let me know. I'll be happy to, I'll get you more info if you're interested. Just kind of plant that seed. Or if you know anybody who struggles in these areas that needs help with this, please connect them to me. I'm on a mission to help as many people as I can. Are you with me? You plant that seed. So Dave's like, what's interesting is I saw your video the other day on Instagram, and I am kind of interested in how it works. I think I would like to learn more about it. Okay, great. Perfect. Well, that's cool. Yeah, let's set up a time we can talk more about it. Okay. So I want you guys to pounce like a hungry cat on its dinner. Let's just let's set up a time. We'll talk more about it. And so this is the most important thing. My best advice to you guys on building your business is when somebody wants more information, don't email them information. Have a conversation with them. So yeah, let's jump on when do you have 10 minutes? We can jump on a Zoom or a FaceTime just so we can talk about it. And because I want to learn from you what you're looking for, what your need is, what your goals are, to see if it's something I can help you with. So most people after this little chat you've had will be excited to actually get off chat and talk. So that's the next step, right? And so then your information gathering is not you giving information, but you, again, receiving information, asking questions, finding out what their needs are. Because you can't make a recommendation until you know what they need. Does this make sense? Okay, so that was just little side things, not really a Teamzy thing. That was just a little advice thing. So I'm having this conversation with Dave. He wants some more information. Great. We're now having this great. We're on a Zoom. We're connecting, and he's identifying specific things he's struggling with. And now I'm going to recommend a product for him. Are you with me? You guys still tracking with me? So let me show you how I do this in Teamzy. I set that initial connect to him, and he went into the Teamzy cycle. Now he's not going to be on my dashboard again for 30 days. He's cycling through, but I can get to him at any time through this little lookup bar at the top. I can just look up part of his name and then jump to his record. Okay. Because it's a full-fledged CRM. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on the connect button because I want to log the Zoom that we had in Teamzy so that I know I've progressed this. So I'm just going to click in here, video chat. Great. I'm going to print in all of the notes from our Zoom, which, would be like the goals he has, the problems he's struggling with, all the things I want to remember about our conversation, right? And then I'm going to log it as a share. Do you see the bottom left where it says share? I'm going to click on that and it defaults to just a regular connect, but I'm going to move that over to a product share. See it right there? If we talked about the business, then I would log it as a business opportunity share. So I'm going to click that as a product share. And then you'll see as soon as I made that a share, it immediately set a follow-up for him. It defaults to 2 days. See right there? That's the follow-up, that little yellow calendar. Now I'm going to change that to tomorrow because I think you should always follow up the next day. So as we're talking, we're having this great chat. I've told him, look, I think you should get this product. He's like, yeah, definitely. I'm going to order it right now. I want to do it right now. Perfect. I say, great. I can't wait. This is going to be so great for you. I tell you what, though, Dave, I'll give you a call tomorrow just to check in, see if you have any questions. Sound good? Yeah, great. So now I've got him on my call list for tomorrow, log connect. And you can see when I log that connect, you can see all the tracking of all of our conversations. And then for tomorrow, there's a follow-up scheduled. Let me go to the dashboard and show you that. So now on the dashboard, you can see I have a share logged for the day. And if I go over to my follow-ups list, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there he is. And that follow-up is due tomorrow. Okay. So as you're doing Teamzy, it may take a couple of weeks to get those conversations to the point where you're sharing and putting them on the follow-ups list. But the real purpose of that follow-ups list is to be your pipeline of interested people. Make sense? So you're having these great conversations and you're creating opportunities to share and get them into this interested pipeline. Now you can put somebody on the follow-up for any reason. They say, call me on Friday when I get paid. You can put them on the follow-ups list. That's fine. But that's the main purpose of that list. I call it the hot list. I've had conversations all week. These are the people who want to know more or they're interested. So it's like you shift gears when you get into your follow-ups list. Now you're being a professional. Somebody said, yes, I want help. And you're like, I'm here to help you. Now, let me show you how this works. So after you've been doing this a while and you'll start getting follow-ups in that follow-ups list, the second half of your power hour after you reach out to prospects, customers, and distributors is you'll come to your follow-ups list and you'll work down the follow-ups list, everyone who's due today. It's very simple. It's the exact same process. You just send them a message. Okay, don't overthink it. Now, for those of you who do overthink, I have put 10 follow-up scripts in here, numbered 1 through 10 for you. Okay, so you can just use my scripts. Let me just show you how easy this is. He comes up on follow-ups. I go to scripts. I look for the ones called follow-up. Here it is, follow-up 1. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions you have for me? Great. Copy that script. If I sent hi, Jane to Dave, he might think I'm weird, but that does happen. So get that the way you want it. Look, now it's ready to go. You guys see I can do this pretty quickly. I'm even quicker on my phone if I'm using my smartphone. So there he is. By the way, if I wanted to keep this link, look, I'll copy his link from Facebook. And then on Teamzy, if I go to his record really quick, I can now add on details where it says Facebook. Watch this. I can put his link there, right? So now when I click on Facebook, it immediately takes me to his Facebook. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So the same thing, okay, you're going to log that message. I messed up though by toggling away from you guys. So when I'm on my follow-ups, same thing. I'm going to go in, I'm going to get that script, that follow-up script. Okay. Change it to Dave. Great, there it is. Got a little excited. There it is, great. We're going to send this to him. Now watch this. Now that I have his link, I can go to details, click on Facebook. Cool. Some of you guys like that stuff. Now, I don't often save those links because to me, it's like it took me 3 seconds to save the link. And I figure that's the same 3 seconds it'll take to type Dave into the lookup bar, but it's up to you guys. And I think that I think that those links are now being stripped though when you use the import tool from Chrome. So you'll have those in most cases. I think you get those. Okay. So I've sent him my follow-up. Great. So now on Teamzy, I'm going to log that follow-up. What happens when I log this, it's a little different because he was on the follow-ups list. It's going to ask me, did this complete the scheduled follow-up? Okay, so it's checked by default. I'm going to leave that check there because this is my scheduled follow-up with him, but I'm going to add, before I complete this, I'll add another follow-up. So now let's say I'm going to follow up next Tuesday. Okay, great. You can leave yourself a little note. Follow up 2. FU means follow up, by the way, in my notes system, just to clarify. Okay. All right, so I create that. So now look, now it's just to confirm what I'm seeing. I'm checking off today's follow-up and I'm creating a new one for next Tuesday. Complete. Great. So now he's due again on Tuesday. So just super simple on this. Once I get somebody who's like, yeah, I'm interested, what's the probability that he's going to actually order the product today like he said he would? Have you guys had people do this and you're like, they didn't order it? Okay, so I just want you guys to understand like the average percentage. It's 20%. 20% of people who say, yeah, I'm ordering right now actually do. The other 80% don't. They get distracted, whatever. They have good intentions, right? Maybe they've got 4 kids like I do in the house. It's like, okay, great. Oh, daddy's finally off his call. And it's like, I didn't get to do anything, right? Which is what's going to happen as soon as I'm done with you guys. I won't be able to do anything. They're going to come. They're going to hear that me stop talking on the Zoom. They're all going to come converge on me like ants. That's what happens. So 80% of people aren't going to follow through, which is why we have to follow up. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we want to just plan to have them on that follow-ups list. Now, what people typically do is they get all caught up in the fact that this person's not responding, and they put a lot of mental energy into this person. Can you just let Teamzy deal with that for you? Just put them on the follow-ups list. When they're due, send them the next message. Don't think about it anymore, okay? Because all you can do is create stories in your mind that aren't true, okay? So what we want to do is once they're interested, they're on that follow-ups list. We're going to stay following up. We're going to stay in touch. We're just going to keep in touch with them. And every month in Teamzy, people on that list will convert. Some will convert in days, some will convert in months, some will convert in years. Okay, but every month people are going to convert off that list because you're staying in touch. You're showing how professional you are, and you're showing that your care is systemized. Does this make sense? Now, how many of you are concerned? So here's the stats. 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. 7th and 10th follow-up, okay? So anybody freaking out that they have to follow up 10 times and now they are going to be definitely annoying? So there is a way to do this so you're not annoying. I'm going to teach you really quick, and then we'll do Q&A because I know I've kind of over-delivered and gone over. Has this been helpful though?
Yes.
Helpful?
Yes.
Okay. So if you don't want to be annoying when you're following up, there's 2 principles. The first principle is don't ask them to do anything. Okay. So don't ask them to respond. Don't ask them to call back. Don't ask them, whatever. Just don't ask them to do anything. Even if you have an event tomorrow, don't ask them, are you coming? Like don't put any pressure on them at all. Okay. The second principle is keep your message short enough they can read the whole thing without opening it. Okay. You want them to read the whole thing without opening it for a couple of reasons. One, they're not going to open it most of the time because they know they're too busy right now to respond, and they don't want to look like a jerk for opening it and ignoring it. So they won't open it. But we're obsessed with reading our messages, aren't we? So they're going to look at it. And that's all you care about, is that they're going to look at it. But if it's long, meaning they can't read the whole thing without opening it, they're definitely annoyed. Even a tiny bit. You don't want any of that annoyed emotion. The emotion you want is hope, because that is your product. Your product is hope. When I talked to Dave, he was excited. Why? Because he's feeling hope. He's going to sign up tonight. Why? Because he wants to buy hope. He didn't get there because he got distracted. So every time he gets a follow-up from me, what do I want him to feel? Hope, not annoyed. Make sense? And so here's what I want you guys to understand about follow-up. Following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. Because how many of you guys really love your product? I mean, you think it's life-changing? Yeah, I hope so. So if you're here to change people's lives, but they haven't got the product, what do you have the ability to do that will change their life? Only one thing: follow up. So, but what most people do is they say, well, Dave was interested. Oh, that's funny. He didn't order. Let me send him a follow-up. That's strange. He didn't even respond. Let me send him another follow-up. Wow, he's ghosting me. What a jerk. Let me send him another follow-up. I can't believe this guy, right? You start creating stories. Let me go to his social media. Oh, I see what's happening. He left his job, or you start creating like stories. The truth is, he got the message. It was like, oh yeah, I got to respond to Eric. Oh, I can't right now because the dog's throwing up on the baby and I got to go handle that, right? So his life is happening. And you just have to understand that their life is happening. You represent change. And what is the one thing we're programmed against in our subconscious minds? You guys know this.
Change.
Yes. You can't put quantum visionary behind your head and not understand how the subconscious works against us, right? So what we're doing over time with the follow-ups, we're demonstrating our love, we're demonstrating our consistency, we're demonstrating our authenticity, right? And we're giving them little injections of hope, which is allowing their subconscious to let them loose. So this is why it takes so many follow-ups with no response. Most people give up. They say they're a jerk. I'm moving on because they haven't responded. I want you guys to know, just keep going. You will get a response. Maybe after 6 or 7 of no response, you'll get something that says, thanks so much for staying in touch. I'm so sorry I haven't responded. And they'll give you the excuses they came up with. Right? Sometimes they're big, like I had somebody recently who just reconnected with me, Teamzy customer, great leader in another network. She responded and said, I got one of your emails today. It just it just was inspiring. It was one of my blogs. And she says, my brother killed himself and I've been in a funk and I've just been stuck and I'm ready. I think I'm ready to get back into it. I said, well, if you're ready to get back into it, that's my life's purpose. Let's go. Let's go. What can I do? How do we get you engaged? And I saw that she signed up for our leadership course, which is starting in a couple weeks. And I see like she's committing to something, right? She's committing to something. But my point is did I write her off because she dropped off the face of the earth for a while? No. Did I over-own her experience, which was horrible, so that I could stop helping her? I think we do that sometimes too, don't we? We over-own that they're going through something tragic and we stop helping them because it's like, oh, let me back off because they're going through something. No, we're here to help. When you're ready, I'm here. And that's what the follow-up process is like. So I want you guys to understand that's what's happening in the background. What you're actually doing is you log into Teamzy, boom, here's your list of people to send a message to you. Follow-ups, send a message, done with my power hour. Go back to your life. You do it 5 days a week, you're going to get incredible results. Does this make sense? New person comes in. So I got Dave now. He's my customer. He introduces me to 2 of his friends. They're ready to go. I'm now telling Dave, you should do what I do because you got 2 of your friends. He's like, okay, sign me up. I have no idea what I'm doing, but sure. Okay, I guess so. I got him now as a distributor. He signed up 2 of his friends. I've done all the work. He's like, what do I do? And it's like, let me let you into a little secret, Dave. I'm really not that good. I have this thing called Teamzy. Let me show you how it works. That's what that is what you did. Wow, those are the messages you sent me. I could do this. Great. Well, it's free for 14 days. Let's go. We'll get you in here and we'll teach you how to do it. Right. And if you need support along the way, I'm here to help you. It's great. Does this make sense? And what happens is it becomes a cycle. After a while, you'll get to where it's just second nature to you, just like it is to me after 20 years. It's just second nature to you, having conversations with people, being interested, messaging. What do you say in the situation? It's just going to come to you. It's just like any muscle. As you build it, it works. The thing about this muscle is congruent with how you're designed. This is not teaching you to do something that is awkward or counterintuitive to you. This is how we're designed. We're designed to connect with other human beings. We're designed to lift other people up. We're designed to help people be successful. Make sense? Okay. Wow, you guys have a lot going on here in the chat, which I haven't looked at, but here's what I want you guys to do. I know we've been on for a long time. Some of you time zones might be late, but if you've got questions, I want you guys feel free, unmute your mics, ask away. I'm happy to answer anything.
All right, I'll go
Hi,
first.
Eric. Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Don.
Sorry,
I
Walter.
think you're up, Don.
No problem.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, Don.
Thank you very much. Are there tutorials in the back of this to go over everything that you've shared with us today?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're in Teamzy, there's a link that says Help Center. I've made a ton of videos. There's step-by-steps depending on what you need. The other thing that we do have available, I have a great full-time professional staff to support you. So if you want to have somebody, some people need this, like you're like, I don't really want to try to figure this out. We'll actually set up a one-on-one Zoom with one of my team, and they can walk you through setting up and get everything set up with you that way too, which is pretty cool. You can actually give control of your local computer to my technicians, and they'll go through and do your imports, everything for you if you want. But we've got, or you can just send a message. We've got a little email tool. You can just send a quick message and they'll respond that way too.
Okay, you have an incredible product, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Dave,
Yes,
kudos.
Congratulations for me too. Is it my turn? Do you hear
Yes,
me?
go ahead, Walter.
All right. Eric, I see that you give stars to the prospects. Are they changing when they become customers or distributors? The star system is still existing, or you have a new system? You give them new stars as a customer or distributor?
That's a great question. So the star system is the same for all types of relationships. And it's the same frequency. 5 stars is 30 days, 4 stars is 60, 3 stars is 90, 2 stars is 120. Now, you can change those frequencies in settings, though I don't recommend you do, because 20 years, that's the best sequencing. But so basically, let's say you're my prospect. The reason I would give you 5 stars is because we're friends, right? If I put you in 5 stars just because I think you're going to be awesome at this business, that's great. But after we connect a couple of times, I'm going to have to take some stars away, because if we're not that close and I message you every month, you're going to go, why is this guy messaging me every month, right? It's too frequent. So the stars really is how frequent it's comfortable talking to this person. That makes sense. But if you're a 5-star person and you're my prospect and you become my customer, you're a 5-star customer. It just moves with you, but you can change them at any time. And I think the most common thing people do is they down rank people, because they go, I just talked to this person, I'm going to down rank them and put another month in there until I message them again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have another question. I was never so much a Facebook guy, so I'm more of LinkedIn.
Yep.
And I have about 3,000 connections there, but they are all, how I can tell them, hot shots, top coaches, top professors, top doctors. They might not be interested at all to be my distributor. So today is the first time that I changed mind, and I said, listen, they are all 3,000 people that they have wives, they have families.
Yep.
So I want to catch up my contacts with them in the same way with Teamzy. Am I right or wrong, or should
Right.
or will I lose my time by doing that, because they are not targeted for Lifewave? You
Well,
understand what I mean?
everybody needs Lifewave, right? And so again,
Yes.
what you're trying to do is build advocates. So
Yeah.
the LinkedIn is a little slower, because LinkedIn sends an email to an inbox that people tend to respond really quickly to text messages or Facebook messages.
I will move them to with Facebook Messenger. I will message them with Facebook.
If you have them there, message
will,
them there for sure.
Yeah.
But you can message through LinkedIn as well. Just know that LinkedIn messaging tends to trail a little bit. Like I'll get my LinkedIn messages a couple days later, usually, because they show up I don't go to LinkedIn every day. So they show up in my email box. You got a message from somebody in LinkedIn. So, okay. So it's just a little bit slower in LinkedIn sometimes, but it's still a great way to connect with people. And remember, it's about building those relationships, right? And so,
Right.
if you've got people, so I'll tell you guys the story, my Lifewave story. My friend's daughter was struggling, and they brought her to a acupuncturist. They tried everything else. They brought her to acupuncturist. The acupuncturist introduced them to Lifewave after she started seeing it, and she started getting great results. And they noticed, this is kind of a funny story, but they noticed that the acupuncturist had this white strip of hair in her. She had black hair, and she had this white strip of hair. And they came and noticed that now she had it was backwards. The roots were black and the rest was white, right? Like it was growing out backwards. And she's like, it's the life. I don't really understand, but the Lifewave's turning my white hair black again. And that's such a powerful story. Isn't that an amazing story, you guys? Like I heard that when I was like, wow, that's amazing. But
guys, I didn't know that Eric had any prior experience with Lifewave before this, just to let all you guys know. So this is kind of really cool that I'm hearing this now too as well.
Well, what's funny is, it's like I'm probably being too transparent about friends and family on this, but my wife, who's amazing, after having 4 kids and we're in our 40s, it's like her hair's not as thick as it was, and it's a concern. And then she's hearing this random story about this acupuncturist growing her hair back in black. And I see her lighting up. And here's my point. Every human being will relate to these stories, but you have to be in touch with them to share any of these stories. Mm-hmm. Right? So it starts with hey, how the heck have you been, Walter? It's been a long time since we worked together over at, whatever company, or right. So, it starts with let's reconnect. And then over time, and it's like the other thing that happens is if you're sharing stories like this on social media and you message somebody just like, hey, how's it going? They tend to go look at your social media. And maybe they weren't looking before. Now they're looking. And so even though you're not talking about it with them, they're receiving those stories. And that builds the conversation over time. That's one of the reasons why I really liked using Facebook Messenger, because as soon as they responded like, hey, great to hear from you, Eric, they got promoted in the algorithm and they started seeing all of my posts. So suddenly now I'm in their feed all the time just because they said hi and they responded in Messenger. Does that make sense? I don't know if LinkedIn has a similar thing, but it probably does. But, it's, LinkedIn is a really awesome way to connect with people. I know when I lost my job, how many of you guys have lost a job? Like you've just been eliminated. So this happened to me twice during recessions where they eliminated my job, and LinkedIn was how I found my next opportunity. What I would do is just kind of give you an idea of how I used LinkedIn. And maybe you can apply this is I put together a list of things that I was an expert teacher of, and that would be a benefit of other business owners. And I started reaching out to people and said, I've identified these are areas based on my experience where I think I can really add value. Who do you know who would benefit from this? From this. And so they would say, oh, I know so-and-so. And so I would connect with people, and I was literally going and teaching seminars on whiteboards in people's offices on relationship marketing, kind of like I did tonight with you guys. And they were like, this is amazing. And then they would introduce me to somebody else. And so LinkedIn is how I use that. It was more of a professional thing, like how I shared my skills. So anyways, it works the same. It's just not as quick. And it's a little bit more on the professional level and less on the, how the heck is your dog Fido? It's more on, how's business going? How's life? If that makes sense. Okay. Who else has a question?
Can I ask a question, Eric?
Yes, please.
Oh, hi, Eric. First of all, thank you so much. I really appreciate for all the education and explanation which you have gave. So I have 2 questions. I don't know, maybe this is stupid questions or what, but I just want to ask you. So my first question is about the Lifewave. So the one thing I'm very new in this line, just maybe 1 month. So I started to introduce the Lifewave to my family and friends. And and they interested, and now I order for them. So now my problem, I have two problems which I noticed. The first one, I feel shy to ask them about their results. Why I'm shy? Because I think because I'm getting result, what's about if they are not getting results? Okay. And my second question is, how can I like I'm good in talking in the way about the telling them product, but I don't know how to start my conversation to become a member. I mean, start the business point of view.
Yep.
Do you have any?
Yeah.
I mean, how can I remove my this fear, and how can I initiate the conversation from business point of view?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, is your name, how do you say your name? Is it Damon?
Damon, yeah.
Okay. So first of all, we've got another 13 or so people. Are you guys seeing people getting results? Folks on the call?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So anecdotally, out of a group of 14 people, and I haven't used it, but I have friends who've got great results. I've shared some of that. So anecdotally, we got 13 out of 14 people, Damon, including yourself. Actually, that's 14 out of 14 people who've got great results. I would say you should assume they're getting great results. Okay.
And also, Damon, I just want to interject as well, because we have the group where we upload users' video testimonials every day of the week. I mean, that is a great resource just to take that pressure off you and to refer these people to that group so they can see the testimonials coming in there every day of the week as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. But the most important testimony is your own. You're getting great results. You said, share that. So I would say, first off, the fear of them not getting results, I would say that one is probably a paper tiger. And you should just assume they're going to get great results based on what you're seeing. If they're not getting great results, probably the next question is, are you using the product? How are you using the product? And they need more education on how to properly use it. So that's where I would go with it. I would say the most common reason people aren't getting results is because they haven't opened the package. And so anyways, I know that's not Teamzy, but you asked. So first, have the confident expectation, believe in the product that it's going to work. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you're brand new, I mean, it's okay. You just need to throw it out there. And what I would say is, if you're feeling shy, I'm kind of a shy person too, is you just throw it out there. If people are buying the products, just say, you're going to love this product. By the way, if you are interested in learning more about the business opportunity, just let me know. I'd be happy to get you more info on that. So you're not shoving it down their throat, but you need to invite everybody to it. Now, what happens is, like, when you don't invite, it's weird. It's like people are like, why am I not worthy of the invitation? Does that make sense? I like to look at it a certain way. It's kind of like you've been given a chance to bless people. And when you get too shy to even mention it, it's like you're withholding a blessing from them. You're keeping it from them. Does that make sense? And so you would never do that. So you have to sometimes you kind of have to get in your head and be like, no, I want to make sure I at least offer the invitation. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a distributor, let me know. I'd be happy to talk more about it. Sometimes you can put it in an email, but you should always get that invitation out there. It's like, I had a friend who was like super excited about something that they were doing. They kept telling us how awesome it was. And my wife was like, how come they never invite us? They're always telling us it's awesome, right? So it's just kind of that thing. And I'm sure they were thinking, I don't want to push this on them, so I'm not going to say anything type thing. So you got to be fearless when it comes to sharing the blessing that you have for others. Does that make sense?
Yes. No, it is true. Like, I started to use the X39 and I'm getting results, and this gives me confidence to talk with others. So, but when I'm talking others, yes, they are ordering the product from me. But I was thinking, like, maybe the people were thinking, like, she's now pushing us to be a member in this one, right? So I was just looking for the right wording, how I can invite others for invitation. But thank you so much, Eric.
Sure.
I appreciate. Yeah.
So, hi, Eric. I have a question, and I hope I'm not out of line, Dave. Lifewave isn't my only business. I actually have multiple streams. Is there a way to put like to categorize things so I could use it for Lifewave, I could use it for my other things?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
fantastic.
There's a very simple, we have a very simple tagging program, tagging function. So you can add word tags, and that creates subgroups in Teamzy. And then when you're in Teamzy, when you look at the details, you can see all the tags assigned to that person. So you can use tags for everything. Like, for example, we add a tag when you import Facebook that says Facebook, so you know that that's one of your Facebook contacts. But you can tag anything. Lots of ways to use tags. Like I used to do these in my business. I did a monthly coaching group. So every month I started I called them a challenge group, and it was a private Facebook group where I coached people. And to get in my group, you had to buy my product, right? So that was how you hired me as your coach. So you'd buy my product, you'd get in my group. So when I was prospecting, I would tag everybody I prospected with the start date of the group. Then I knew everybody I had invited to the group. And then when the group started, I would go through and I would tag everybody who attended the group. Then the next month I could see everyone I had invited to the last group who didn't attend the group. And does this make sense? So all those tags were in Teamzy, so I could categorize them. I would put in, I would tag all my veterans as veteran. And then on Veterans Day, I would send them a message. I would pull my list of veterans and I'd send them a message. Thank you for service. Thinking of you today. And it was, how much more effective is it to do that than to put a post on Facebook that says, to all the veterans out there, thank you for, no, when they get the private message, it's so much more impactful. Does that make sense? So you can use tags for everything. I'm glad you asked. And for those of you guys who like to do trainings and learn, how many of you guys like to learn stuff? Yeah, you have that. We call them Learn Edges, which is great. I have one of those too. You can see some of the books behind me. I'm a book collector. I actually got rid of so many books and then I regretted it. But just make sure that when you're into learning, you're not just learning. You got to do too. You got to implement too. But I did a full 1-hour training on tagging. It's in the Teamzy Help Center. You can go check it out. And I go a little deeper in different ways you can use it, but it's pretty simple. If that makes sense. So I answered your question and then some.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been an amazing training, way far beyond my expectations. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to prospect anymore. I know Michael and Dave love this, but they're like really good at prospecting. I'm like, and so I'm so excited. This is different. And this is like going to really make a way, not just for me, but the people I'm bringing in. Like, yeah, thank you so much.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Which reminds me, I have a special offer for you guys. Let me share it with you. Hold on. Yeah, right. You can't come to a knife fight without your shotguns. So wait, where's the play button here? So let's just go through real quick what you get with Teamzy. The team, again, it's free trial with Teamzy, but you've got a full-fledged CRM plus with the Power Hour. No other CRM does that. It brings it out front so you can get it done in an hour, but you'll be able to find all your contacts, customers, and conversations in Teamzy. It's got the intelligent module to help you crush your Power Hour so you can get in and out, get back to your life. You'll be able to view and track leads as you go, and also use Teamzy to get your team motivated. There's a cool team report. Dave, have you seen the team report yet? So the team report, just so you guys know, because I know all you guys are going to be on Teamzy now. Dave can invite you to be on his team report, and he'll be able to see if you're using your Teamzy or not each day as an accountability tool, which is really cool.
You know what, Eric, that's brilliant. I wanted to ask you about that because in our team group, what I've done is I've set up an accountability group, and with Teamzy, I think it's just going to make it a breeze where people have to show their screen every night of how many contacts they did, and I think this report's going to be actually awesome.
Yeah, they won't even have to share their screens. You'll be able to look at the report and be like, oh, okay. So Michelle, what happened this week? You haven't done anything in Teamzy. And she's going to say, no, I'm just using you as an example. She's going to say, I've been doing it, Dave. I just haven't been logging it. Yep. Okay, great. Well, let's get to logging it. You guys with me? So the team report's really powerful. Also the scripts library, which I mentioned, I demoed some of those scripts. Those scripts have all been refined and refined and refined. They just work really well. Those are in there. Again, they're designed for Facebook, Messenger, text, any type of touch point. I even have scripts for writing cards, for writing somebody a personal card. There's a collection of conversation starters, staying in touch, follow-ups, reconnecting. You can also create your own scripts and save them in your Teamzy. So you can have your own scripts at hand. Maybe you don't like the way I've worded it and you want to rewrite it a little, you can save your version and have it there ready to go. Also, another thing is if you've enjoyed this training, and I can't believe you guys are still here, you haven't abandoned this Zoom yet, so you must be liking it. But there's more trainings in Teamzy. Training is a passion of ours, and my co-founder of Teamzy is also a business consultant. We actually own another business consulting company. And so we put a lot of energy into trainings. A lot of our trainings do come with an additional fee for our training courses, but there's a full suite of trainings which are included in your Teamzy subscription at no extra cost. I just want to highlight them. I call them the ultimate mindset trainings. And so part of this is a goal setting series. I call it goal setting on steroids, but it's your BHAG goals. You guys know that term? Those are your big, hairy, audacious goals. Your SMART goals, which are the goals you're going to set to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months to a year. And then we teach you how to create your personal business standard, which is your daily standard of activity for your business. So there's some really great trainings in there on how to create and visualize goals. We'll teach you how to uncover your why, which is your emotional motivation for your business. It's important to know the why. You've got to know your why or you'll end up quitting. You've got to know your team's whys. You should have in Teamzy, you should have every single member of your team's why in the notes, so that when you're coaching and helping them, you know exactly why they're working. If they don't know why they're working, they'll probably quit. And then there's some trainings in there going deep on relationship marketing. So that's all included in there too, just to let you guys know. So giving you some action steps. If you're not already using Teamzy, get your 14-day free trial started. Okay. If you're already in Teamzy, you're not in the Lifewave version, send an email to support@teamzy.com and say, please switch me to Lifewave. Okay. It'll happen within 24 hours. Everything will be moved over to be perfect. But we are going to give you guys a special offer. We're going to offer you guys 1/3 off the regular price. So here's the way Teamzy works. It's a subscription product. Teamzy is very affordable already. We're in US dollars. I know you guys are all over the place, but we're in US dollars. It's $29.99 a month, which is $1 a day. Okay. But we're going to give you guys a special offer. We're going to let you lock that subscription in at $19.95 a month. So it's 1/3 off. $19.95 a month. That's like 60 something cents a day. I don't know. I'm not a math whiz, but it's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. Once you lock that in, you can keep that price forever. We'll grandfather that. We'll never raise it. For those of you guys who are in love with Teamzy, you can actually lock in an even deeper discount if you go annual, meaning you pay 12 months at a time. You can get 12 months for $198, which comes out to like 14 something a month. Okay, you guys with me? So it's a great deal. Get in there, make sure that you get in and lock in that special rate. I don't know how long we'll have it open, but since we launched a new version for you guys for Lifewave, we wanted to do that. We hope to get a bunch of Lifewave people, get some momentum going. So definitely once you get your subscription set up, you can set up once you get your free trial set up, you can get your subscription set up and lock that in. Next action step is join the Teamzy community Facebook group. I know some of you are already there. I see you in there. But there's a link there in Teamzy. It says community. Click that, join the group. It's a great place to connect. There's 20-something thousand people in there. It's a great place to search questions and see what's already been asked too. And then I've got another one here, which is I want to recommend that you guys partner up. It sounds like you already have an accountability group, but it's great to have groups of 2 or 3 people holding each other accountable. And what you do is you just message over your completed Teamzy screen each day to your partner or partners and ask them to do the same. That will help you guys get so much more out of this software than you would do on your own. None of us are wired to really perform for ourselves. We perform for others. That makes sense. That's how we're designed to do. So you guys got all those action steps? Okay, great. All right. So hopefully we'll have you guys going in Teamzy. Are there any other questions before we tie this up in the bow for the day?
I have one. Is there a special link for that offer you just mentioned? Or Dave, do we have that in our group?
Nope. You're going to see it pop up inside your Teamzy account. If you're in the Lifewave version, it's just going to pop up.
I haven't started it yet.
Okay. So when you start it up, once you log in and start your free trial, you'll see that offer pop. It's automatically set to go. for
Then I
Lifewave
just do
people.
the yearly.
It'll give you the option. It'll say, boom, when you click on it to go do it, it'll say, do you want to do yearly or monthly? You can choose it right then.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you.
Sure thing.
How do you switch to the Lifewave version?
Just send an email to support@teamzy.com.
Thank you.
Or if you're in Teamzy, there's a little button on the bottom right that says help. You click that and that'll send the same email. Okay, well, looks like I'm going to have to read the chat later. It's going to be like a little magazine for me to read, but I just want to thank you, Dave, for setting this up. I hope this was really helpful to all of you. We're excited to have you in our Teamzy family, and we hope that Teamzy is something that will really help you build your business. We're in business to make you guys successful, so we thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of your success story. Thank you so much. God bless you all. And Dave, I'll get you this recording later today or tomorrow.
Brilliant. Thanks a million, Eric. And I really, really appreciate you getting on here and taking the extra time to, give that extra touch and really do some training in here and help everyone out. I know everybody appreciates it.
Thank you very much. Now you just got to tell the team members not to be intimidated by the 2-hour time on the replay.
Thank
Hey,
you
it's
so
worth it.
much.
I'm going to recommend everybody get on and watch every second of the